Welcome back. Now, best known for their 80 anthems, Labours of Love and Looking for Linda, Hue and Cry are back with a new single, new album and 2 Irish tour dates next year.
Before we speak to Pat and Greg Kane, otherwise known as Hue and Cry, here's a clip from their new single, Let Her Go.
But up go the photos of extended family. She has her own anchor amid her own strife, so let her go. Your work is through. Look in her eyes. Who's there? Not you. So let her go and hope she flies. And if she falls, you know how that goes.
That was gorgeous,
Beautiful.
just beautiful. Pat and Greg, you're so
Good
welcome.
morning, lads.
Lovely to have you with
Thanks
us.
for having us.
And we
Thanks
just
for
watched
having
your
us.
daughter there, Eleanor.
That's my
Pat.
daughter, yes, a chip off the old block, I guess.
And what was that like working with her in the new single?
It was, well, we didn't sing it in the same room together, too much emotion for that.
Right.
The line where you just stopped is where she picks it up and sings it herself, and it's about the moment where she is coming into her first flat in London as a drama student, and I spy the bottle of Prosecco that she's hidden in her bag. So we gave her that line to sing herself because obviously, you know, she has to rebel at the basic level. But she's a beautiful singer. It shows you how long you've been in the music business when your daughter sings with you on your record.
And can duet as well. Duet
But as
so
we
well.
say, though, you know, in Ireland, it wasn't off the ground she licked it because your vocal.
It wasn't off the ground she licked it.
No.
You write that down.
There's a lyric for you.
Exactly, be the
I'm
next
good
song.
at
Because
trying to
your
remember
vocal, and the lads have been saying to you, I've been giddy all morning because I've been a fan of yours since 86,
Thank you.
87.
Thank
And what impresses me most about you guys is the range of work, is the jazz stuff, the Sinatra stuff.
Yeah.
But from a musical background, my dad played with Frank Sinatra. And
Oh my God, when what way?
he did a residency in a hotel in New York, the Hayes Hotel. My dad was a clarinet and sax player
Oh
and a
my
lead
gosh.
vocalist. And they
Well,
did a
for
residency.
Sinatra totally modelled his
Completely.
vocals after the legato of
Yeah.
Benny Goodman and the clarinet.
Well, that's what I was going to say. What I love about your work is the arrangements and your compositions, the piano playing, because that, for me, as someone with a musical background, is what's so impressive. And I love watching you. I'll stop talking about you in a minute. I love. I
Go and eat
love.
some
See if they can
tagine.
chat.
I was watching stuff last night on YouTube with you guys. I love when you guys pair it back and it's you and it's him.
Yeah.
And it's just piano, your piano and his voice. It's like, it's magical.
Yeah.
His vocal is amazing, but your arrangements
I
are...
do try to play as simple as I can.
Yeah.
My piano teacher would always say, make it coherent, and make
Yeah.
it listenable, and he gets bored. And you think, a bit more interesting, a bit more. It's like,
Bit more Steely Dan, bit more Tom Waits, bit more Rachmaninoff.
So when we do gigs together, when we play just on our own,
Yeah.
in the back of my mind's always him going, more.
Yeah, it's always my fault.
Really?
You see,
More?
It's always the big brother's fault. you see.
Yeah.
Always.
Always.
Now, Simon mentioned very briefly there the fact that you were interested in jazz and absolutely beautiful albums based on jazz music and a variety of genres, but actually you started out as a pop act, and this was in the 80s, and just recently that George Michael documentary was incredible. And you're talking about the stalwarts of the time that like we'll never see again. It was a really exciting time for pop music, I'd imagine, the late 80s.
Well, it was, but you see, what the new album, Pocket Full of Stones, is full of all the young jazz musicians in the west of Scotland, and they're incredible. And here it is here.
It's a present for you.
Present for you guys if you want to play.
Thank you.
But they were inspired by all the American jazz musicians that we bought for extraordinarily large sums of money in the 80s. Sure, so everybody on this record, some of them are kids who know the bass lines better than we do because they were brought up with it, with their mum and dad playing it in the back of the car, you know, as they're driving out to do holidays and so forth. So this is, I mean, you know, when you think that you're tired of being in the music business for 35 years, you sort of realise how much has built up underneath you. And it's not just the musicianship, but it's also the fans as well, because they've been with you for 35 years. So when they come up to you at the end of gigs and tell you stories about what your song has meant to me, I mean, it's like a kind of morning television show.
But
the stories that you get are so human and it's so
the
rich.
whole thing about,
you know?
Is the whole thing about is it about reinvention? Because as I say, it's so eclectic, your stuff. You've done the hip hop stuff, you've done the big band stuff, which is incredible because nothing
Country.
for me is like a big wind section with a great vocal on top of it. But country, folk. I mean, is that to do with reinvention? Do you get bored with it, or you just want to keep testing
No, I
yourselves?
think
or?
we're just fans of different styles of music.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not so much of a big country fan. I'm a big country fan.
Right.
He's the soul jazz guy. I like Fionn Regan and I like the Villagers and I like bands that do a bit of alt country, alt folk. He needs convincing about that, but the music does creep onto
But I'd
the
say the
records.
musicality convinces him at the end of the day.
Oh, no,
Yes.
totally. I mean, generally, he's Kurt Cobain, I'm Liza Minnelli. I mean, that's just basically the way it kind of works out. And somewhere in between,
It's Hue and Cry.
we hit a midpoint,
Yeah,
And I appreciate Kurt Cobain, but I think he appreciates a bit of Liza Minnelli as well.
Yeah.
But you did decide after your first album, Seduce and Abandon, second album, Remote, in the 90s, you did decide to kind of go down a different direction.
did.
Was that a conscious decision? Were you sick of the pop at that point?
No, there's a lot of jazz in us. I mean, our idea of a Saturday night entertainment before the Scottish football came on in Scotland was to watch the Oscar Peterson show on BBC Two, and that was entertainment for us. So there's a lot of jazz in us, and then the people, if you're a post-punk as well, because we call ourselves sort of post-punks, which is that when punk came along, it said you can do anything, and then post-punk came along, said you can do anything with all the musical history you want. So you can combine politics, and you can combine string sections, and you can combine sharp suits, and you can combine attitude. So that's where we come from. So everything pours in. There's an album we brought out called Open Soul, right? And I think all good artists have got open souls. Everything pours in, and then you've got to try and make a song out of it. It's a perpetual challenge, and that's why we're still doing it, because the challenge is like, how do you get the world and your emotions about it into verse, chorus, middle, eight.
But that's where I think you attracted your staunch kind of fan base, because I would have been 17 in '87. So you were for me. I was a new romantic at the time, so I was into Spandau.
Exactly.
I was into Duran Duran, but
EBC, etc.
And funny enough, that I had been brought up listening to Sinatra, so I'm used to the big band of the strings. So when even that video we just saw, you've got the big band there, you've got strings there. I think that's why I linked into it and throw that vocal on top of it. It just for me was magic.
But it's playing.
I'll stop gushing now.
No, but it's a big toy box, isn't it? Why not have the biggest toy box?
It's a big toy box, but somebody's got to write the string parts.
Correct.
Somebody's got to phone the string players. Liza Minnelli just goes, I want strings, I'll see you in a month.
Yeah, and a glass of goat's milk for my throat.
Are the strings finished yet? No, brother.
Actually, usually I demand a fortnight, but anyway.
Tell us about the arrangements and that process. I mean, because it is torturous.
We'll have a musical interviewer. Indulge yourself.
Go for it. Yeah. Go on, son.
Do you want to talk about the amount of work that I do for him?
Well, in terms of putting a track down, I mean, he'll come up with an idea, you'll come up with an idea, and you'll say, look, he'll say as he does, I want 6 wind and 4 strings, and you go, brilliant, I have to write those parts.
Yes, we're having a debate at the moment about musical progress, and Pat's idea is EDM big band. So basically, you've got electronic dance music with a big band, and we just shoot creative ideas out. And I'm thinking, how on earth are you going to promote that?
Yeah, it's 400 musicians.
I'm the
Promoters will be biting your arm off to sell that one.
So with writing the string parts, it's so much joy writing string parts. You don't write as a piano player. You don't play chords when you play strings. You play little melodies, and the melodies complement each other, and they'll either go away or they'll come closer. So it's a bit of a journey writing strings. It takes a long time, and then it's a false economy because you need to wait for the best string players to come and play them, because if you get average string players, it takes you twice as long to do, and it never sounds as good. So there's only there's a finite amount of great string players in the world.
What can fans expect from Pocketbook Stones, the new album?
This one here?
Yes, that one there.
This one here is, this is the result of a coin toss, because we had a decision. He wanted to make a funky record in 2010. I wanted to make a ballad record. He won the toss, so we made a funky record called Hotwire, and this is my side of the coin toss. So it's ballads and anthems and beautiful. It was written partly with a lot of family happening. Gregory has a 4-year-old daughter. Mine's are 20 and 27. And it was also at the time of written mostly at the time of the independence referendum in Scotland. So there are quite a few songs on it that are just about debates, about big crisis decisions, there's songs on it about technology and everything. I mean, this is the thing about being a songwriter in the early 21st century. There are no shortage of things
to try
to write about.
Lads, very quickly, because we're killing for time. Sure. 2 Irish dates coming up: Belfast and Dublin.
Yes,
in March.
Both of them in March. And Whelan's, we so love licking the sweat off the walls of Whelan's
Nice.
gig.
Nice.
You'll be in the front row, as
and
you know.
very
In fact, I don't think you can avoid doing it. To be
And
quite
very
honest.
quickly, boys, would you mind looking down camera 2 there and saying hello to Michael and Anthony Phelan and his wife Linda? They are your biggest fans. They go everywhere to see you.
Michael, Anthony, Linda, thank you very much.
There you
And
go.
Simon as well.
And Simon.
Right.
Yes.
I'm all right now. Thanks, lads.
Thanks so much
that's
for joining
fabulous.
us. Best of luck with the new album and, of course, the dates in March as well.
Thank you very much.